In Bakhmut, Ukraine, a brutal standoff continues as Russian and Ukrainian forces battle for control of that area. The head of the Wagner Group, the Russian private military company, admits that Ukrainian forces are fighting fiercely for every meter. A commander for the Ukrainian army says logistical routes in and out of Bakhmut are still functioning, meaning the supply of ammunition remains open for defending forces. Joining us now with more on all of this is retired U.S. Army Colonel Eugene Vindman, brother of someone you also recognize, Alexander Vindman. There they are right there. But Eugene Vindman was born in Ukraine as the twin brother, as I said, of Alexander Vindman, whose central testimony was part of Donald Trump's first impeachment trial. Eugene is now investigating war crimes in Ukraine as part of the Atrocity Crimes Advisory Group created by the U.S., U.K., and EU. And Colonel, great to see you. I know you were just in Ukraine for the United for Justice Conference in Lviv. How clear is the evidence of war crimes? How is that picture coming together? I assume it is coming together because we've seen, I've seen so much evidence just covering it on this show.
Well, Jim, there's enormous evidence of war crimes, and we've seen evidence in Bucha, in Hostomel, and the areas surrounding Kiev, but we haven't seen, and what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg, is those areas that are under Russian occupation. So Mariupol is probably an order of magnitude worse than what we've seen so far. An entire city of a population of a few 100,000 that has practically been leveled. And we won't get a sense of what the war crimes in that area look like until we get access to it. And what we're looking at there is indiscriminate attack on civilian objects, civilians. It's a violation of a major or critical principle of war called distinction, where you cannot attack civilians and civilian objects. And our group is helping the Ukrainian government investigate that.
And you've said Russian leaders will never escape accountability for their crimes, no matter how long it takes. You mean Putin when you say that as well, don't you?
I mean Putin, I mean his immediate lieutenants, and I mean the officers and military that are fighting this conflict. If we think about war crimes investigations, they're long, they're painstaking. The Ukrainians currently have something like 74,000 open cases, and they don't have anywhere near 74,000 prosecutors. So it's going to require a great deal of time and effort and assistance by international organizations like mine and others that will come in and help the Ukrainians with this enormous Herculean task. And it's a process that will take quite a long time. If you think about the World War II, the Germans were still prosecuting cases from World War II last year. Yugoslavia, which is a few decades old now, there are cases ongoing. And so it's a case, it's a matter of documenting and then being prepared to try these cases when the opportunity presents itself.
And last week, we saw one of Moscow's biggest aerial assaults in months. It left nearly 500,000 people without power in Kharkiv. How long can Ukraine hang on? You've been there on the ground several times, many times. What is your sense of it on the ground? Is their will to fight and their will to hold back the Russians just so strong that they will bear anything? Or is there a time frame that you're concerned about, that this is about as long as the Ukrainians can hang on for?
Jim, I don't see the Ukrainians quitting anytime soon. So, you know, Russia's always had this fabled ability to hold on and take a great deal of pain from Germany, even further back from the French. Well, the Ukrainians are from that same neighborhood. In World War II, they suffered the same sort of casualties, and they have enormous reserves, and they're nowhere near quitting. And frankly, they need, with the help of the United States, with the help of Western partners, they can bear this, frankly, indefinitely. The air defenses that are being donated, Patriots, NASAMS, IRIS-Ts, these are things that are going to help protect the skies. Of the missiles that were fired, typically 80% are shot down. So 20% actually end up reaching their target. So the Ukrainians are doing a magnificent job of defending their airspace and defending the ground territory. You talked about Bakhmut. It's a grinding struggle. It's a grinding battle, bloody on both sides. But the Russians are suffering enormously and much higher on their end.
Well, Colonel Eugene Vindman, you're doing incredible work over there, very important work. Thanks so much for your time. Say hello to your brother for us, and make sure he knows that we were able to tell you both apart this evening.
Thank you, Jim.
All
I
right,
appreciate
thanks.
it.